Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video going to be going through a bit of a pre-call sales process that's helped us achieve a 95% plus show up rate on the calls that we're booking and has actually doubled our close rate as well. So it is super exciting once you've actually booked in a call off the back of your outbound efforts or your ads or whatever it is. But at that point, it is pretty important to nurture that lead and give yourself the best chance of them actually rocking up or showing up to the call that you've got booked in with them. And there's a few things that you can do because there's a bit of a lag period in between booking the call and then actually having a chat with them. So a few things to consider in today's market is that we do live in a bit of a trust market at the moment, which I'll make a separate video on in more detail. This is because people are being constantly sold to. There's all these agencies and companies promising the world with crazy guarantees that you'll see, which is resulting in people kind of being on edge and skeptical and a bit unsure on who they want to chat with and giving money to people to help them for services or products or whatever it is. So therefore, the pre-call sales process is designed basically to break that trust barrier and get the person or the lead to kind of get to know you a little bit, trust you a bit more. And considering they're completely freezing calls and they've responded to you, they are still a little bit unsure. They've probably looked at your website or done a bit of research on you or your company or yourself. And at this point, they're in their minds probably talking themselves out of the call or being super excited about it, whatever it is. But at this point, you do want to break that trust barrier and get them to look forward to the call more. And there's a few ways you can do that. So first of all, you need to look at how you are getting these leads to respond to you. If it's through cold email, if it's LinkedIn messaging outreach, if you're using paid ads, you're getting referrals, or it's organic traffic off, YouTube channel, for example. And depending on how they're coming through, that's going to depend on the pre-sales call process. So I wouldn't recommend having one for absolutely every funnel source. So if you get a cold email response from someone saying, yeah, sure, send me information or whatever it is, you're going to have a different approach to that person compared to a referral. If you get a warm referral from a friend or a colleague or someone else you've helped, which we've had a few, basically just call them straight away and just say, hey, look, let's get a call booked in. They don't really need to trust you because they're being referred by a friend. So this pre-sales call process is going to more so be about people coming back to you on email, LinkedIn and ads and things like that. We personally don't run ads, but this is just, so at the moment, here's some reply rates that we're getting on LinkedIn. As you can see, like 35%, 32, 34, 13, 15, 32. On email, the industry average is between 1 to 2%, and we're looking, 12, 8, 12, 5, 9 off X amount of emails, and some analytics on LinkedIn as well with my co-founder Harry and I, our numbers combined. Here's some just basic analytics, but we're basically generating on average around 480 conversations every 2 months. I'll explain in a separate video why we look at a 2-month period. It's because of our offer and things like that. But this narrows down to 240 a month, 60 a week, and typically 12 conversations a day, which we split up between the two of us, generating some pretty decent pipeline and value for ourselves. So we do need to have a bit of a pre-sales call process because things like this happen, right? People don't show up, don't close the deal, whatever it is. And the more people that show up, the more likely you are to actually close that deal and earn money for your business. So I'll get to it. Our process is once we get a positive reply on email or LinkedIn, myself or Harry, we call them immediately. Put immediately in caps because this is crucial. I think Alex Hormozy mentions a stat about his close rates. He's hired a team just to basically call people the second that they fill out a form or within a minute or something like that. There's targets for them to do that. And close rates, I'm not going to pretend I know the percentage, but close rates, they go up by a massive percentage because there's a few factors that I think it is. You get a bit of a wow factor from people. Gives them a bit of a glimpse into what you're like and how you operate as a company and as a business and an individual as well. And my eyes, every single time that I've called someone immediately, from my personal experience of them replying to my email or LinkedIn DM or whatever it is, 9 times out of 10, they say, oh, hi, yes, that was quick. And here's the exact same script that I'm personally using, and Harry's using a pretty similar one as well. But basically to say, pick up the phone and say, hey, is this Sarah? And they'll say yes, obviously. Oh, great, it's Harry Harrison. You've just replied to my email message. And then I'll pause for a minute and be like, 2 minutes ago, and kind of ask it like a question. And then they'll be like, oh, yes, hi. Yeah, that was quick. Oh, yeah, hello, speaking, whatever it is. And typically we have a bit of a laugh about, how quick that was. So now that they've kind of experienced the wow factor and given them a glimpse and kind of broken the ice a little bit because they're hot at the moment, you want to strike while the iron is hot. This is the exact script that I use. So I've got, great, look, the reason for my call is because I just want to clarify a few things with you before I send over the details. Is that cool? The reason why I say the details is because in our emails and messages, we say, let me know if you would like the details. I will make a separate video on what we're sending in the emails and the messages to achieve these results. But for now, that's just what we say. They typically say, yes, of course. And then I'll be like, great. First of all, just confirming it's yourself and John Smith in the business. And the reason why the first question is like this, is framed like this, is because I'm basically qualifying that they fit our ICP. The second I reply, the first thing I'll do is pull up their website or LinkedIn company page and clarify that it's them and whoever else it is in the business, because at the moment we're targeting between 1 to 5 recruitment agencies in the UK, like 1 to 5 in size. So I'll be like, just confirming it's yourself, XYZ in the business. They'll obviously say yes. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, we're hiring, whatever it is. Say, perfect. You guys are a recruitment agency operating in the UK, right? They'll say yes. And I'd be right in saying you're the director, owner, manager, whoever it is, because these are the types of people that we target in the messaging. So I already know that they are that. So I'm basically just getting 3 yeses off the bat. And then from here, I'll be like, great. The reason I ask is because we only work with size, whatever they are, 1 to 2, 1 to 5 recruitment agency owners in the UK, and that job title would swap out with whatever they are. So immediately you're like, okay, great, this is perfect for me. And this person is confirming that before they tell me the information that I am the right person to be speaking with, basically. So, and then I'll kind of go into the pitch. So this is our pitch to swap this out for whatever you want to say. And then you simply say, is this something that you're looking to do this month, this quarter, this year, whatever time frame is most realistic to you. So from here, you've got 3 yeses pretty much off the bat. You've got confirming that it's themselves and whoever it is, they're a recruitment agency in the UK, and that they're the decision maker. So all of these are the ICP criteria, or the ideal customer profile, and who we want to go after. And I'm basically confirming that before we go into a pitch, before we try to sell them, before we try to book a call. Because typically when people receive calls, they just think they're being sold to. I'm simply just asking questions and just making sure that they're the right fit for us. And once you've given them the pitch to saying, look, the reason I ask is we only work with XYZ of your criteria, kind of give them the hero statement of what you do, and then simply ask a question. Is that something you're looking to do this month, this quarter, this year, this week, this whatever it is? And then the idea here is, again, to spark a bit of a question. So then typically people will ask me, what do you mean by an outbound system? Or why do you only work with people in that sector? And that's when I can say, well, that's our experience, that's our background, and you will get that kind of question as long as you're just ready to deal with it. And then so what you want to do here is, instead of just telling them what an outbound system is or what the specific question they've asked, answer a question with a question, keep the conversation going. That's what I like to do. And I'll pretty much just say, look, are you running much outbound at the moment for your company to win clients? And typically what you want to do here is then spark a pain. So can kind of help you one-on-one if you wanted to have a chat with us about getting this more relevant for your offer. I'm just speaking about it for hours. But here you want to spark a pain, because they wouldn't have replied to our message helping them or offering to help them build an outbound system if they had one already, right? So I pretty much know that they either are running outbound not very well, don't have a system, not happy with it. That's why they've replied in the first place. So here I want to spark a pain. What I'd recommend not doing is being like, what are the biggest challenges you're facing with outbound today? What are the biggest challenges you're facing with client acquisition? Like, it's just a bit of a nothing question, in my personal opinion. And so from here, we want to spark a pain. And they've got a few options. So here's the most common answers that we get. It's either, yeah, running it at the moment, but not very well, not really. I've had a bad experience with another agency that was, pay per meeting, which we're not. I don't know how to do that. My domain's burnt. I don't know what to say in the copy or the messaging. People never reply. Email doesn't work for us. We don't have the time. These are literally the most common objections that we get, or the most common reasons why people are not running outbound, or they are not very well. So whatever they say, you need to be prepared with a solution. So we have a bit of a sales, well, not really a sales script, but more so just stuff memorized based on whatever they say here. And by now, since the conversation's flowing, you're kind of in a situation to introduce social proof. We're fortunate enough to have loads of different case studies of pretty much all of the above situations that we've formulated over the time of working with loads of different people and helping them with different pains. And so I'm able to kind of reference this. So if it's, I don't know how, I'd be like, great, that reminds me of Jack, who from this company, who is the exact same thing. I've worked super close with him, now he's achieving X. So that's basically what we want to do here. Just be like, oh yeah, hear that all the time. Very similar to this person I've recently spoken with. He's actually also a 1 to 2 size recruitment agency owner in the UK or whatever it is. Like, they're the exact same type of person as you, and they're experiencing the exact same pain that you've mentioned. And here's how we help them solve it. Don't go into too much detail on how you help them solve it. It's more so just like, oh yeah, I've heard that before and we fixed that before. So in their mind, they're like, okay, cool. This person actually knows what they're talking about. So from here, wherever the conversation goes, it kind of depends on, how much they're giving you, how friendly they are, how well you're getting along with them. The idea here is basically to achieve the end state of a proper Google Meet or a Zoom, whatever it is. So from here, this is typically what I say. Look, it sounds like you guys would be a great fit. We can definitely help you. It'd be great to properly meet you on a call. I really like this line because you're not really properly meeting someone on the phone. Probably me you want to call. I'll also bring Harry on, co-founder, who is way more tech savvy than I am and can help you with the specific pain they mentioned, if it's domains or deliverability or copy or whatever, as he's been working closely with either the person that I mentioned earlier or another person who was experiencing the same thing. And then from there, just ask like when would work best for you kind of thing. And then book the call. Or option B is just go ahead and send over a PDF with the details on what we do, who we've helped, results, video testimonials, the entire process, and the option for you to book a call at the bottom. The reason why I've put option in capitals is because I'll go through that in just a second, and I'll also make a separate video on that in more detail. So if they have come back to you and picked up the phone, then go down this path. However, if they haven't picked up the phone, I'll typically just leave a voicemail, and then the email that I'll send back to them, I'll show you just now. So once we've completed that phone call, and basically 2 options are either to immediately book the call or send over the PDF. This is what the email looks like with the PDF. So feel free to copy this. It's working really, really well for us. So basically says, thanks for your interest. Please see the attached PDF with more info on what we do, who we've helped, our process, client results, and video testimonials. The key number 1 point about this is there's an option to book a call at the bottom of the PDF. The reason why we say this is because it puts it on them and is a bit of a breath of fresh air, considering today people are like, book a call with me, book a call, like, when are you free next week, whatever it is. But simply giving them the option to book a call is a bit more likely for them to actually open this, have a look at it, and get to the very bottom of the PDF and then see that there is in fact an option for them. And I'll go through that process just now in a moment. But again, instead of just be like, here's my calendar link, we've seen this statistically perform way, way better of giving people an option to book the call. Because at the end of the day, you might be thinking that, oh, well, this limits the likelihood of them just like booking it or whatever it is if they're busy. At the end of the day, if they look at it, they're probably going to book the call with you, and they're far more likely to actually get that call booked in without after actually seeing loads of information about you and what you guys do and the testimonials and that type of thing. So simply giving people the option, way, way more powerful. And we've seen the booking rate skyrocket since we've been doing this. So just to show you, here's our PDF or Gamma. We're using Gamma AI. It's amazing. Would recommend. But anyway, so at the bottom of the PDF is what it says. If you made it this far, let's chat. You let them know that we only work with 3 businesses each month, which is true. And then here is the calendar link that they're presented with Harry's face, revenue growth discovery session. I'll show you on a bigger screen what that actually is. Here's how it looks. So revenue growth discovery session. Feel free to copy this, but basically in the very first sentence, we say, look, this is for the recruitment industry only. Please do not book if you're recruitment. And so we had lots of people booking in that weren't in recruitment, and we just had to put that in because it was like, we can help you, but that's not within our niche or ICP. So this line works really well because, again, if you are in recruitment, you read that and you go, oh, okay, cool. These guys don't just work with anyone. They are legit and they do want to only work with me. And here's a little bit of information about what we do and how we can help them, mainly talking about the revenue because that's what people care about. And then when they click into a specific day, we've also got it set it up So it's on the hour, every hour that you have available. It just looks a lot more professional. I can probably help show you guys how to do this. But when they click next, they're then presented with the questions. So they pop in their name, their email, they can add people if they want. Best question that we ask is, what is the number one problem you're trying to solve in your business right now? We leave this free text because typically people will be like lead or email replies or setup or tech or, whatever it is. And that gives us good indication, actually forces people to think about what they want to chat with us about. You need to also ask what their currently monthly revenue is. This helps more so if you're a service-based business, because people will tend just to give you this, and it just helps kind of give you an indication of how serious they are and whether or not they actually need your help. Typically people go between, the 1K to 5K, or we've had a few people that work between 50 and 100 legitimately. We can help them as well, but it's just good to ask this. Simply asking if they use email to win business, engage candidates, just a recruitment term basically. So you could rephrase this question to ask them something about your niche or offer. And then we ask them another further question about what they're using, and also get their phone number as well, schedule the event. So simple as that. So instead of a simple booking form, that's just like book here, book a time, this gives us loads of information and essentially allows us to pre-qualify people, have a look at them, see what they're about, see whether or not they're serious as well, because someone that actually takes the time to fill this out properly and correctly. We've had people put in loads of information and loads of details into this section here, the number one problem, and that's super helpful for us because we see that come through. We're like, great, this person's serious, actually really looking forward to the chat. From here, you can get a bit more complex, which I'll jump into. And just as a side note, our ICP is no longer just the recruitment industry. We do now help business owners and community leaders globally in basically any industry, company size or location. So from here, you can also have a bit of a post-booking page, which is like rehashing the information that you've sent them with the case studies and the video testimonials, congratulating them for booking the call and all that kind of thing. And you can, which we removed it. I'll explain why in just a moment. So from here, you can also send case studies, video testimonials, call them to confirm the time, call the morning of to see if they're still going to show up or rock up, get them to click yes on the meeting invite, get a bit of a triage call talking about the pains and the urgency, etc. The reason why these are in red, I just wouldn't recommend them. I feel like once they book the call, just leave them alone, in my opinion. It's just like they've booked the call, they're interested in chatting. I feel like all of this, yes, it's useful information like case study videos and testimonials and things like that, but you'd be better off putting that in here. And if they really want to look at it, they've looked at it like that. They've absorbed the information. If the call's in 2-3 days or like a week or whatever it is, you don't really need to send them the same video testimonials and case studies, things like that. Maybe there's a specific one that you spoke to them about on the phone in the script here when I say, look, that reminds me of whoever it was that you spoke about on the phone. Maybe you can send them that specifically, be like, hey, by the way, here's the exact case study that I was talking about on the phone. Here's the video testimonial. Here's the situation they were in, which sounds pretty similar to you. And here's how we helped them achieve X result and fix the problem or the pain that they were experiencing. So you can do that if it's like super unique and you've actually spoken about a specific thing. Would recommend email reminders. Calendly lets you just automatically do this. We've got one just like an hour before and a day before. Wouldn't recommend SMS reminders. Bit of a story on this is we set up a call with a very well-known company that had some pretty cool offers. I won't mention who they were, but I got like 15 text messages, I think, within 3 days before the call. About 20 or so emails. I got called twice. I think initially the guy just like, what's the biggest pain you're experiencing right now? I'm just like, I just don't love it after a long time in sales. I'm just, I just don't really love that type of thing. I feel like people are on edge and it just kind of put me off a lot. Hopped on the call and just basically got sold to the entire time because there was no pre-sales or trust process or anything like that. And the reason why I don't think this SMS reminders and that type of thing is a very good idea is because you are hiking the call up a lot. Personally, don't love it. The call is typically quite casual for us, saying, look, we understand your problem. I've seen this loads of time. Here's a few case studies of similar people we've helped. Bit of a no pressure close, and we do raise our prices. So if there's like pressing time or anything like that, I'll then call them if they haven't made a decision on the call, asking if they'd still like to move forward. But I'll also make a separate video on objection handling. But all in all, we've got a super simple pre-sales call process. This might look a bit complicated, but at the end of the day, it's literally just positive reply, call them, If they pick up, great, have a chat with them and go through this script here or a similar script, whatever works for you. If they don't pick up, then just be like, hey, thanks for your interest. Just tried to give you a call, but you must be busy, whatever it is. Please see the attached PDF, blah, 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 and give them a couple of days. If they haven't then booked using that link, call them again. But typically people do pick up because if they responded to your email, that means they're free. So that's why I'm going to call them immediately. Yeah, I hope that helps. Can hop on one-to-one with you if you need a bit of help creating a bit of a sales call process to increase your show up rate if you're sick of people not showing up to your calls. And this also has helped us massively to, pretty sure it doubled our close rate because we had some useful information going to people before the call and a bit of an in-depth process as opposed to just booking the call, complete radio silence, and then chatting with them then. But at the end of the day, overall advice, just keep it simple. Don't have like super complex strategies and funnels and all this kind of thing. It's at the end of the day, it's people to people. Don't treat it super automated and AI and that type of thing. Just be human with people, and don't stress too much about it. If the person's interested, then they're interested. You're going to have a chat with them regardless. Yeah, hope that helps. Feel free to check out our free school community in the description as well called Automated Outbound, where we help you build and own an automated outbound system and help you with the pre-sales call process as well. Thank you.